Welcome to Clicks and Coffee. Today, I'm honored to introduce Shanna Eckberg, the CEO and administrator of St. John's Lutheran Community in Albert Lea, Minnesota. With over 25 years of experience in senior living, Shanna began her career as a dietary aide and has risen through the ranks to lead St. John's since February of 2023. Under her leadership, St. John's has secured a $600,000 grant from the Leading Age Minnesota Foundation aimed at enhancing resources and connectivity for seniors in Freeborn County. Shanna is also spearheading innovative projects like remote patient monitoring in their memory care unit, the Meadows, to improve resident care. I'm eager to discuss Shanna's journey, the transformative initiative at St. John's, and her vision for the future of senior care. Shanna, welcome to the show.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Alexander. I'm excited to be here.
All right. So one of the things that is, common and always very interesting is to hear what inspired you to get into the senior living, because it's, you have to care and you have to be very involved in this particular industry. So how did you get started, and what made you want to go into this industry?
Sure. So I have started working in senior living at 16 as a dietary aide, and honestly, I never left. That's the story I tell. I didn't know what to expect, but I fell in love with it. The people, the cultures, the families, the residents. It is a market that people, usually if you're in it, you love it, you stay. You don't normally ever leave again, or you'll try something else, and then you'll come back because you missed it. So I think it's just the ability to serve others who appreciate the work that you do. And that's what I would say is my answer.
No, it is funny. It's a very common answer, and I love it, because I love to ask this question, because what is pretty crazy is that people care so much. So when you have your loved ones that have to go to senior care, and I'm doing all those interviews, all those podcasts, and every single person that I talk to say, I'm doing it because I love it. And, it makes me feel better for all of the people going to retirement home, because unfortunately in the news, we rarely hear the good stories and only hear the horror stories.
Right.
And, there is weird people and dangerous people everywhere, but it would be better if we hear more about the good stories. That's kind of what I want to also show with the podcast, is there are a lot of good people in this industry, and it's nice.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about how did you get to become the CEO of St. John's, and what is your plan for the community?
Sure. I became the CEO in 2023. I had left a larger organization for the opportunity to work directly with the board and lead a senior living organization that had always been a large goal of mine. So I think just everything that I went through, the different positions I worked in, and all the learnings really set me up well, I would say, for the opportunity. So over the last couple of years, we did just so many things, initiatives, and we hope to keep doing those fantastic things in the future. The one big item that we're focusing on as a community and throughout the county is the grant that you had alluded to, and that Connected Communities grant was awarded to us. And really the focus is to provide a network of resources to seniors in their homes to live as long as they can there, because we know there aren't going to be enough beds, units, all of those things to meet the demand of the aging population. And the other key thing is they don't want to live in senior living communities until they have to. Some do, some don't, and that's fine. Some are not going to be able to afford it. So this grant is allowing us to be exploratory in ways that we haven't been able to do before. And so we're going to utilize some key partnerships in our county and create basically that funnel where people can call into one number, and they will have somebody there to guide them through what they need, whether it's grab bars in their homes, whether it's a remote patient monitoring system in their home, whether it's chore services. We want to be able to provide that one number that folks call and they can get the resources they need. And that person follows them along the way. They're not just given information and then said, here you go. We want to be able to close the loop, almost just exactly like a sale. What do you need? How can I help you? Here's the resource you need. How do you like it now that you've started it? That type of thing. So that's what's coming.
That's pretty exciting, and that makes a lot of sense. And so kind of segues into my other question, which is, so you're using now technology. So how do you see, technology evolving? Because actually, it's funny, we're talking about the remote monitoring, and I think now I found 2 companies that use AI, to really monitor the person. I was even thinking that should be implemented for a retirement home, and we're even talking with another guest about like monitoring the water intake or like liquid intake to make sure that people don't do that or sleep too much or don't have enough activity, and to kind of being able to track every person in the thing. So how do you see, like, what are your plans, and what are your, I would say, ideal plans using technology?
Sure. Well, I know there are so many things out there, and many folks are using AI in back of the house operations, maybe in accounting and those types of things. And I think when you're going to jump into the space of AI and technology use with seniors and their loved ones and your own staff, you really have to find the right partner. A company who's willing to go through some of those learnings with you: cost, implementation, regulatory, reimbursement, just those specific things. So having that right partner is what I believe is one of the most important things. And I think we have the right partner. So we implemented it in our memory care unit in its assisted living. We have 36 units, and we have 19 units or individuals who are using that. So, about 50%. We are 3 months into data gathering. So we had a couple of months where we did the implementation, and then the AI in the back of the house, that's learning about the individual, what's their normal patterns, all those things. So we can then get alerts that say, so-and-so's heart rate is much higher than it should be. You need to look into this. So-and-so's door is open longer than it normally is. What's going on with the person? They've been in the bathroom for a longer period of time than what's their norm. Do we need to look at that? So that's how we have been using it. As part of our admission paperwork, we have documents that families or residents sign to, it's just becoming part of the package. Of course, they can always opt out, but the learnings and the additional information that come has been beneficial. We just started meeting with families to explain what we're learning, and they've found it pretty interesting. Some of the residents don't really care, but they like to know, like, oh yeah, that is what time I wake up. Anyways, so it's been pretty neat to see that. Now, what I see for like how we're going to use it in our grant is that we're going to do a trial. We actually just discussed this morning, but we're going to do a trial of 10 members in the community, in the county, 55 and older, in their homes. And we're going to do it at no cost to them. And we're just going to work through like what the benefits are and define specific metrics, whether it's visits to the hospital, falling, those types of things that we can see a change or an improvement for them on. So that's how I see what's happening right now. Of course, for future, I would love to see it in many households, regardless of the payer source, because I think long-term, it can help us length of stay in that setting rather than going to a more expensive setting. So.
Yeah, but it's a big thing. It's always like proactivity, and a lot of the time, the reason people end up, I would say, in situation they don't want is because they don't have this proactivity, or they get hurt and nobody's helping, or there's a lack of follow-up or a lack of help. And really technology help, and so yeah, that I find, to me, I see the good side of things, and that's always the big issue with technology. You always have a good side and always a bad side. But I love the fact that there is that. And you were mentioning also heart rate. So how do you I would say combine those two, of the heart rate and the monitoring? Is it like through an Apple Watch or something like that?
No, no. So the organization, the vendor we're working with, they're called Zemply. They're a younger company, but I think that's actually pretty wonderful for us because they're willing to be so flexible. So what they use is a bed sensor. So it goes underneath that first mattress, and then it does it does heart respirations, or it does your respiration rate and your heart rate. And so that's continually monitoring. And so if there's an uptick, the system will notify us, or if there's prolonged periods of that, then there might be an issue there. Same with blood pressures, temperatures, and then overall movement in their room.
Wow. That is pretty exciting, all this the thing, and you're actually the first person I talked to that has like first-hand experience on it, and
Okay.
and so that's great. And so, you know, you have the great idea on that those ideas for the county. How are you working on the outreach to people? Because it's one thing to offer the solution. It's another thing to say, hey guys, here
I
is
know,
a
try this.
solution that was free. Let us help
Right.
you. Or here is
Yes.
a resource,
Yes. So really what I found pretty great is it's alignment of like-minded individuals. And what I continue to learn about Freeborn County and its services and the people that live in the county, they want to help each other. There are a ton of programs out there that I don't believe as many individuals know about. So I've just gotten really involved with our partners, with our Age Friendly of Freeborn County group, our Chamber of Commerce, our Senior Resource Center, and actually our police department and our fire department. Seniors really trust the firefighters. So yeah, we have a variety of people coming together for the same reason, and we're creating that network of resources so that we don't duplicate, so that we can share things without, taking somebody's ideas or whatever. It's like, it doesn't matter. What's going to help people? What's simple? So to get this out into individuals' homes, our county has a great program it's a call-in assurance program. So since the 1960s, the fire department here in the city has offered a call-in program. Every single day, people who want to be on it, they call the fire department and somebody answers and they say, I'm okay. And so that's been going on for, almost 60 years. And so, yeah, so by partnering with them, we're hopeful that maybe some individuals who work with the fire department who rely on them for that would be willing to try this program and just really make it more robust for the individuals who utilize that program. And then hopefully the good word can get spread through that. So yeah, because we need those first few early adopters to say,
no, exactly.
And, John does it down the street, so I want to try it. So we're pretty excited, but that's how we did it, is you have to get out there and get to know people and get into the small communities within the county and say, just try it.
No, exactly. And then, from me caring about technology and loving all this, I know that all those new solutions are really made to help. That's like clearly the main issue. But a lot of people always reticent, and especially as you're getting older, you're like, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of approach. And so it's like, yeah, but it has nothing to do with that. It's just like helping you be proactive. And so you've done an amazing work at, I would say, getting connected with all of the different, I would say, association and government bodies and everything. And as we are, on a digital marketing podcast, how do you approach digital marketing and like the outreach and social media and everything for St. John to, either keep people updated or reach more people?
Specifically related to this situation or just in general?
In general.
Sure. So I believe that a digital marketing presence kind of depends on where you're located. It's kind of like traditional marketing too. It's what types of marketing do people look at in this area? I mean, newspaper is still popular here, especially for the age group that you're looking for. So you would use that as a source. Just saying. As far as digital marketing, we do find really good things with the social medias, Facebook, LinkedIn, as far as attracting team members or Facebook for the kids of the seniors, or maybe even some younger seniors. We haven't done a lot on, we haven't done like TikTok videos or Twitter or anything like that, because at least right now, a lot of the kids of those individuals or the individual themselves are more in the areas that we're focusing on. Sometimes though, just the traditional getting out and talking to people in this market is pretty darn helpful. I know in larger metro areas, you have like the Facebook groups to get the word out, seems to go pretty good. We aren't big enough to really build a huge like drip campaign via email or anything like that. And we don't have an electronic newsletter or anything yet, but those would be other ways to do it.
Yeah, no, for sure. So no crazy TikTok dance for
No,
Shanna.
I mean, we could probably pull it off, but I just one bite at a time.
Yeah, that's not my thing either. I'll just tell you, I don't think you're gonna see me doing any kind of weird dance. But yeah, no. And then the it's interesting. And so, do you help? Because so you were talking about Facebook groups and like family, and so my grandfather, who's 93, just turned 93 last week, I think. Yeah, the 5th. So so we created a Facebook group for him, basically, because my grandmother, who passed away like 2 years ago, she was the tech person in the home, which was pretty funny. And so he had to kind of learn, but now he loves it because every day he can go back onto the group and then just look at what's happening. So everybody makes an effort, to post things. And so is that something that you're trying to help with people? I don't know, particularly as you say in your area or part of the country, but as you can hear from me, that I'm not from Texas or Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, move now. Say you grew up in Minnesota, then you move to New York, or you end up in Texas. So people don't necessarily can drive every Sunday like we used to. See the grandparents. And so do you help also residents with this kind of things?
Yeah, I think we do informally. I think that a lot of the times, like our receptionists are asked questions about, how do I do this, or those types of things. How can I connect? Or the children. So yes, of course, if somebody needs something, figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, no, this I like the idea, and I'm sure also that helped during COVID to keep people connected, because I know that I had another guest that put in place viewing, I would say, and like got iPads so people could see each other, because that was a little extreme, I would say, what happened for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then how do you see the next, I would say, 5 years, knowing that there is a bit of a shift of people, and then technology is going to be even greater and greater? How do you see, I would say, your senior living facilities kind of communities change to adapt to that?
Yeah, and I guess it's in a way it's a bit of a harder question for me, because we are going to have, and people already have, robots that serve meals, robots that help us clean the floors. So in case, you don't have enough staff to do it. I mean, those types of things are just going to continue. I wonder what the extent of robotics would be as far as getting a little bit further than that. I believe in other countries that there are robots that help lift people, because there aren't enough people to take care of their seniors. So those who need lift assist, instead of having 2 people and a piece of equipment, they have a robot that can lift people with 1 person standing there to help. So it's like, I wonder about that, and like what that would look like in the United States, because obviously that hasn't passed anywhere, but just curious about that. I think that probably a bit more real is going to be a lot more care being provided in people's homes, and that you only see individuals who are extremely critical care going into nursing homes. I do believe much more of the care is going to go into the homes. I don't see like a huge census drop really in assisted living or independent living. I think again, there's going to be a larger wave of people coming that already has started happening. But that's how I see it. And I think it's just really navigating that and finding that balance of how you can, like what we're trying to do is diversify just a bit to build relationships with people that when they do maybe need more help, maybe they won't, that we would be that trusted resource for them. So that's how I see it.
Okay, no, and because I was also seeing a lot of developments in CCRC and like more I would say people, and the funny thing is, like, actually my neighbor, that's kind of what they did. They had a house. I was looking at them, seeing them every weekend, mowing the lawn. I know the wife was running faster than I can run, and everything. And then all of a sudden there's like, oh, we sold the house, we're moving to a retirement community. And I was like, what? But you don't need to. And he's like, no, it has nothing to do with what you think it is. And I went to visit them a couple of times over the past year, and it's beautiful. So it's interesting also to see people shifting to those kind of places. And I was like, well, I want to go there. It's like swimming pool, breakfast restaurant, you have care on site. So I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Don't have to take care of anything anymore.
I totally agree. I think it's really, those things are still going to exist. We are just going to have to figure out more in the rural markets, and maybe for individuals who won't have the type of financial means that others do. How do we still provide that care and find that balance? So yeah, I think it's great. We still have so many opportunities, and then we're being creative for those who want to stay and continue to age in place.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, and then one of the things that I hope technology is gonna bring is maybe not bring down the prices because of inflation. There is not much we can do about it, but at least to kind of maintain the prices as we go, just because it's becoming more efficient, and they kind of bring the help bring the price down. Because imagine that if you have monitoring, like we were talking about, video monitoring of common areas and each room, you might not need as many people, or you might even provide better service, which will in turn help people stay longer and everything. So that's really what would be excited about. And I think a good one would be also the food programs, because that's also one good thing, and I'm sure that we can have some interesting technology that could help with that. But it's a lot of if.
That's true. Yep, I agree.
Okay, and so you got when did you get the grant? That was last year, right?
November.
So it's fairly recent, so everything is getting in place. So do you have any message to anybody that want to help? Because I'm sure that, like, now you're getting it done. Now it's like putting it in place and really maintaining it and boosting it. So what are really the plans that you have in place for that grant and the needs that you have, I would say?
Sure. I think that, since we are in the early stages, a lot of it is goals for us, but really the first goal is to create that connected community, which we did. We have a ton of partners. It's on a list. Now it's just figuring out how we share information and make sure we don't duplicate services if it's unnecessary. So, long-term, some of the local food shelves which do provide, meals for seniors. Some of those are losing their home bases. So I know long-term, our team would love to help and establish or assist an existing food shelf where we could help manage that. Or is it that we prepare meals at a low cost because we already do it now? So what's 100 more meals in the big picture when you're already doing 300 to 400 a day, if not more? So, I think those are some huge areas. We also want to figure out how we can just offer more chore services, transportation, smaller things that we all take for granted, who can move around independently and drive independently and all those things that we can do to help. So it's just looking for more volunteers and sharing the need that we learn from individuals. Like, this is a big need. We need to do better here. I think that's probably in the year. And then as we look more to it, more forward, we would want to do more with rolling out the remote patient monitoring, because it is a way to support individuals more than what we can do right now. And it's non-invasive, no sound, no video. I think people get worried about
no video?
recording. No
Okay.
video.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like that could be beneficial. So I would love to see that just really expand through the county and have the financial side not really be a worry to people. So as individuals look at remote patient monitoring, they really want to look at whether it's reimbursable. If they find a provider that it's billable and that it's reimbursable under Medicare and Medicaid in some states. Some insurances, if they're like Medicare, they will cover a portion. So then you have a small copay. So I think it's just understanding it, and it doesn't always have to be super expensive.
I know, but just removing the video part, I think, is going to be a big thing. So, no, that's great. I'm very, very impressed with all those new technology coming out, and then seeing them getting applied in the real world. Because a lot of the time, it's a lot of nice videos, but who's really using it? So,
Right.
No, that's super exciting. And so, if anybody wants to contact you for volunteering, where should they go, or who should they call?
Sure. So they can always just call our buildings. We have 2 numbers on our website because we have 2 locations. I can be contacted on LinkedIn. And yeah, I would say the website, LinkedIn, and the phone numbers on the website for St. John's Lutheran Community.
Super. Yeah. So we'll put that in the description.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Yeah. And we'll do that. So anybody who wants to be part of, I would say, a new way of helping seniors, better way even. That's pretty exciting. Shanna, it was a true pleasure having you in the podcast. I'm always loving those podcasts and see people making a difference in this world. So thank you, and really good luck for this year for the implementation.
Thank you so much.